welcome back to another video. Today I have Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. I have my swatch chart for my new COLORIT colored pencils, and I'm really enjoying them. You can see that some of them are out because we're going to color a flower today. I did put these into a better color family order than they were because when they come they are completely out of color family order, but I am going to move things around and switch it up just a little bit. But I wanted to really be able to test these pencils out today. I have been working with them a little bit in this coloring book and they seem to go down very, very nicely. So I wanted to be able to share that with all of you today in this video. If you check the description box down below, you'll find a link down there for everything that you see in this video, including the new COLORIT colored pencils. There are 72 in this set. They used to have, I believe, a 24 set and a 48 set, but they've been sold out for quite some time. So they came back with their colored pencils, and I believe that they may be a different formula. I do have to check on that, but I've had quite a few people ask me that. I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to ask them. But these are really, really nice, and they're a wax-based set of pencils. I'll make sure my review for these is linked in the upper right-hand corner so that you could check it out if you've not already seen it. And if you follow any of my tutorials, please do come to my Facebook group and share them because I love to see your work. You will find a link down in the description box as well for my Facebook group. So I chose this page because I decided I wanted to color probably this flower here, and it's got a few leaves around it. I'm not sure if I'll get to the leaves today, but I really wanted to be able to test these out and be able to color a flower. Actually, I think I like this one better, so we might just color this one. But I have my swatch chart here, and today for this video we are going to stick to like pinks and reds, I think, because it's only a couple days after Valentine's Day when you're seeing this, but today is Valentine's Day for me, and so I painted my nails pink for Valentine's Day, and I thought we could color a flower with pinks and reds. So let me show you the colors that I chose. And I'm really putting these pencils to the test today because I am not just going to use these reds and pinks. I'm going to add another color into this at the end to just give it a pop. And you'll see that when we get to that part of the tutorial. But for now, not to overwhelm you, we're going to start with just three colors. I've got Devotion Pink, Pink Tranquility, and Bubble Pink. And so let me show you what those look like here on the swatch chart. So here is Devotion Pink, here is Pink Tranquility, and here is Bubble Pink. And I'm wondering if maybe I should have grabbed Hello Pink too. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that color too. I don't know if I'm going to use it. We're going to start out with these other three colors here and see what we can come up with just these three. Because this color, this Bubble Pink here, it is still rather light. It's really pretty. And if you look at these three colors together, you can see that there is a pretty big difference in their values. Okay, so I've already sharpened my pencils, and with these, when I was doing my swatching in my review video, I noticed that they create a lot of crumbs. And I had a couple broken leads when I was using really hard pressure. So I don't have it sharp. I have it sharpened to a nice sharp lead, but not to its sharpest. But when I come in and I start doing a lot of the details, I am probably going to sharpen it even more so that it's just a little bit sharper, but I'm not going to use really hard pressure. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start with this darkest color, and I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to add this color in all the places where I have one petal overlapping the other one. So I'm going to add some in here because right in here where you've got these other two leaves overlapping this one by a lot, and since it's overlapped on both sides, I would assume that this should be much darker. And over here you can see that this one here is overlapping this one, so we're going to add some of this color here. And I do have some other colors set aside, but like I said, we're just going to start with these colors because I know it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and I know a lot of you that watch my videos are beginners, and so I like to start very easy, and then I'll show you when I decide to add other colors in, and I'll explain why I decide to add other colors in as well. But let me tell you, these pencils, they go down so nicely. I am really impressed. I'm coming over this with a second layer, but you could see that I'm using really light pressure, and I'm still able to get quite a bit of pigment down there on the paper. And I was coloring earlier, just testing these pencils out in this book, and I just couldn't believe how nice they went down. They almost felt like as if I was using the Black Widows, and y'all know how much I love those pencils. These feel like a cross between the Artezas and the Black Widows, but they are softer than both of those. So y'all that are watching my videos, you probably notice that sometimes I go in and I lay the highlight down first, and other times I come in and I lay my darkest color down first. There's really no right way. It's just all about whatever you're feeling and however you feel like you want to do it. And either way is fine. And you'll notice sometimes I even layer my pencils differently when I'm using them. But when I'm coloring flowers, it's usually the same idea. I'll usually come in here with my darkest color, and as you can see, I'll lay all these colors all around, just like that, where I have something overlapping, or one of the petals overlapping another petal, because in the end, I want it to look like it has a whole lot of depth and it's just literally popping off the page. And I want to be able to see that separation. So now I have my Pink Tranquility, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to very lightly just blend it into this darker pink here. And if you could see what I'm doing here, I'm leaving a little bit of space right there, and that's because, like I told you, I'm going to be doing a little bit of something else, but I don't want to show you quite yet. So I'm just pulling this color out and pulling it sort of into the center. I'm trying to be a little bit different on each one of these petals because I don't want any petal to look exactly the same. And this isn't even my lightest color yet, so I'm just laying it down very lightly and mostly using it to be able to spread the other color out. So this way I don't have any harsh lines. But as of right now, I shouldn't have any harsh lines anyway, because I've only got my first layer down of that darker color. And then of course, as I start to add more layers, you'll be able to see the difference that it makes. And then let me see, where do I want the color on this one? Maybe we'll just add a little bit over here, because I think I need to come back in over here and lay more of that darker color. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going lightly in sort of a circular motion right now because, again, you don't want to see any really harsh lines. And then if you've watched my videos before where I've colored flowers, y'all know that I like to come right down here, down the center, where Johanna has provided us with these lines here, and I like to use those lines as a guide just to make the flower look a little bit more realistic. So do you see, as I sort of just go over this line, I'm going to kind of pull it out just a little bit. And that helps the line to not look like an actual line. That's what helps it to look a little bit more realistic, and it's going to create some of that depth there. So when you first go over it, if you notice that it looks a little bit dark, just go in a circular motion right back over there. And of course, you don't even have to do this. This is just my style of coloring, and I really like the way that it makes the petals on the flowers look. And sometimes I'll even come in and add my own lines where I want them. See how I'm just sort of going in a circular motion after I make my line, and I'm turning the pencil. I'm turning the pencil just to be able to keep that sharp tip on there. Because when you're doing something on the finer lines like this, you want to make sure that you have a pretty sharp tip on your pencil. And of course, this is just our first layer, so this flower is going to need quite a few more layers. But as we move forward, you'll start to see it all come together and how beautiful it looks. But these pencils, y'all, I did not expect to like them so much, actually, because when I was doing my swatching, which is really all I had done, I hadn't colored with them at all yet. But when I was swatching them out for the review video, I had a few breakages and a couple of them felt a little bit scratchy. I think it was a green one and a blue one, if I remember correctly. I said in the video and told you exactly which ones it was. I always like for my reviews to be fairly thorough so that y'all can make a decision on your own as to whether or not you like something. And that's part of the reason I wanted to be able to color with these. With any pencil set, you can try out a colored pencil set. I'm going to bring in now my bubble pink, but you could try out a colored pencil and you can really not like them. But if you have the right paper or the right coloring book, then that really makes all the difference in the world. Most colored pencil sets have a coloring book that they work the best in, and when I do my videos or even like my massive coloring book haul and review videos, I always try to tell y'all which coloring books work best with which pencils, because that is very, very important to get you to love your colored pencils. And I was unsure about these when I did the video, so it was really important for me to color with them and show y'all how they performed in a coloring book. And what better coloring book to use but World of Flowers, right? And flowers are the best thing that you can learn on, because all of the tips that you learn when you're coloring flowers, you can bring them to any object on any coloring page. Because if you look at these petals, the way that they're all overlapping one another, that is how every coloring page really, really is. And so you've got objects overlapping objects, and it really helps you to understand how that works within an object and throughout the entire coloring page overall. Okay, so I've got all those colors down there, and I'm looking at this even before I add more layers. You want to be really careful before you start piling on the layers, and you want to make sure that you've got all the colors down that you want to have down, because if you apply too many layers, the paper, especially in this book, because it has a little bit of tooth but not a whole lot, but if you apply too many layers, you're not going to be able to get any more layers down. So you want to make sure that you have laid down all of the colors that you want. So I am looking again at this Hello Pink, and I think I want to add a little bit of this in here. And it's like a pink, but it has a little bit of a peachy tone to it. And you can see that I am leaving a little bit of white because I have one other color that I'm going to want to add in here after I get quite a few layers down. Just looking at this, the way that it is right now, after I've got a couple layers down there, I am looking at it and I'm thinking to myself that we probably need to add in one more color just to create the added depth and dimension that I'm looking for, or that I like to see when I am coloring something. So I grabbed my swatch chart and I wanted to show you my choice, but my choice is going to be this Tasty Plum, because right now we're on this Devotion Pink right here, and we really can't go any darker than that. But I think if we add just a little bit of this Tasty Plum, it will create a little bit more depth and dimension to this flower. So I'm going to use the Tasty Plum, and I'm just going to go around the entire flower and add this color right over all of the areas where we have that, or we have one petal laying over the other, or in any other places where I want to see that added depth. So now I'm going to come back and I'm just going to pull that color just a little bit so you don't see some of these harsher lines here. So I'm just going to blend them out just a little bit. And I'm using the Bubble Pink. So this is just the process that I use as I come back and continue to add the layers to the petals of my flower. I'll just add the colors, lay them where I want them, and then I'll always come back after I lay the darker colors and just use this circular motion and work on blending those colors. Because that Tasty Plum really darkened it up, I can come back with this color and it will take out a lot of that really dark purple that's in that Tasty Plum, and it will lighten it up and blend those colors together. What it looks like if we add a little bit more of this Hello Yellow. Let's see if this color makes enough of a difference, because looking at this, to me, it just doesn't have enough, I don't know, it's not popping enough, and maybe it doesn't have enough colors in it. So let me come in here and just add a little bit more color. I don't know that this one is going to do what I want it to do. I'm used to my flowers having several different colors in them, and even if I use pink, I still will always use a red. But this color is doing a nice job of sort of brightening up or blending out all of these colors, but it's still not the look I'm looking for. So let me go ahead and grab my swatch chart, and I'm thinking maybe we can do one of these just to give these pinks a pop. I'm wondering if we can maybe put a little bit of this Pleasantly Peach in there, or maybe we want something that's toned down a little bit like this Yellow Serendipity. Let me try the Pleasantly Peach, and I'm gonna see if that adds the pop to this that I'm looking for. So don't ever be afraid to try something, because remember, you can always erase the color. So I'm going to attempt to try this and see if it gives it the pop that I'm looking for in, I think, just one of these petals. Let's try it over here on this one. Oh, that's pretty. Yes, I like that, and it's gonna look really good with what else I'm trying to do, because like I said, there's something else I'm gonna be bringing into this flower, and this is really the test, because this will allow us to see if the colors will just lay right over one another, and they seem to be doing just that. And I'm putting this color just right on the edge here. Now you can see I'm just leaving this little edge of white right here, and that's because I have plans for that. And I wasn't even planning on adding this color, but this is super pretty, and it's giving us that pop that we need. Look how pretty that is. I'm really loving these pencils. And the pressure I'm using right now is a little bit harder, and I'm not experiencing any of the broken leads or anything that I did when I was doing my swatching. So I don't know why that is. And it only happened with a few of the colors. It didn't happen with all of them. Oh, this is so pretty. I love the addition of this color. Now, my little secret was that I was going to add a pop of yellow. And I think I'm still gonna do that, because I think that will still look pretty even with the addition of this one, but we're going to try it out on just one and we're going to see. I was just thinking that maybe since this one is giving us that bit of contrast, well, yeah, I think we'll still need the other one, because the other color will give us the pop that we need while this one adds contrast, and that will add even a little bit more of a contrast. But see, now that I know that I like it, I can add even more of it and use a little bit harder pressure and start to pile up the layers. Like I said earlier, don't ever work on piling your layers or even adding more than one if you try something, because if you try something and you don't like it and you don't add a bunch of layers, it will give you a chance to come back and erase it. And of course, if you like it, then do what I'm doing and continue to layer it up and add more so the color becomes more vibrant. Now I'm going to show you what I had originally planned on doing. Now, I wasn't planning on using that peachy color, but I have this calming yellow here. I really wish this set had a much more muted type yellow, but I think that this will give it that pop that I'm looking for. I don't know though, because goodness, no, this one is more muted. See, I wish we had a yellow shade on here that looked a little bit more like this one is. You see how that's just a little bit more muted and not as bright. But I did go with the brighter one, which was also darker. So let's go ahead and try this. I'm gonna try it, and if I don't like it, I'm not gonna keep moving forward with it. Okay, so in all of the areas where I had left the white on this flower, I'm going to add this pop of yellow in all of those areas. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is cool. Oh my goodness, and blended in with that peachy color. Oh, how pretty. And then over here on this edge, right off of that peach color, a little bit in the center, and then on this edge where I left it white as well. Now see, that's what my plan was, to add that yellow in there so that we could have that gorgeous pop of yellow with these other colors. And then here I left a much bigger space so that I could add a bigger pop of yellow right here where this leaf was turned over. Oh, I think I really like it. I'm going to come back and just add in a few more colors and sort of just fix this up and let it all come together the way that I want it. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up to music as I do that. So now we need to come back and we need to do the center. And y'all know that I'm going to grab my stickles, so I'm just going to place a little bit of color in the center of the flower, just like that. And then I'm just going to use this Summertime Tangerine. That was the yellow that I used in here, the calming yellow that I used in the flower. And now I'm just going to come in here and maybe just add a little bit of color, but not too much, because I'm just going to come back and add the glitter. And when you add the glitter, it's going to add quite a lot of depth as well, dependent upon the way that you apply it. Now, I have two colors here. I have the Sunburst that I love and the Grapefruit that I love. And I don't know. I think I'm going to use the Stickles in the center, and then maybe I'll use a little bit of the Grapefruit in the petals. But to be able to add depth with this, you would just add the glitter, and you would make sure that it is just sort of popping up like this. Like what I like to do is I just like to add it and then just pull up on it like that, and it will create a little bit of depth. And I'm going to do the same thing for these. In the Sunburst, there is a little bit of iridescent glitter in there, and so it's really pretty. I love Stickles. If you are looking to get yourself some Stickles, I always have a link down in the description box. And you can get them on Amazon, but if you use the link that I have down there to get your Stickles, they're probably cheaper. But there is a set on Amazon that has all my favorite colors in it. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Maybe I should have used that in the center too. If you've been watching my videos for quite some time, you know that my flowers always need to have glitter. Look how pretty that is. Now I know I said at the beginning of the video we were going to do a pink flower today, and it does have pink in it, but I don't know, it has a lot of this peachy color in it now too, and yellow. Up a little too much. If you ever put a little too much, just smooth it out just like that. And I'm laying the glitter in different parts on each petal so that I don't make each one of them look the same. And if I have yellow in a certain area, I'm trying not to lay the glitter over the yellow. Oh, it's so pretty. I love that. I love how the colors came together. Okay, y'all, so the flower's done. We used quite a lot of colors, but I think it is really popping just like I wanted it to. And I do like these pencils, and like I said, when I did my review video, I experienced some breaking lids, and a little bit, or a lot of dust actually. They performed really nicely in this book, and I really love how my flower turned out. And I especially love it with the pop of yellow and the addition of the glitter. I think that just really brought it all together. And that really put these pencils to the test, because some of these colors that I used in here, you wouldn't generally think to put together, like the pinks and the reds and even the very dark purpley red that I added, as well as putting that with the yellow. It turned out really, really pretty, and I really, really love the way that it looks. So I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial, and if you are looking to pick up these pencils for yourself, I'll have a link down in the description box below. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.